Generic greetings and welcome back to Prison Architect. I wonder what would happen if the entire prison started rioting. Well, we're about to find out because I've just caused it. So, this is our initial starter land, all now completerated. So we've managed to build a big wall around the outside, which is sort of mandatory for a prison, and really not worthy of note, is it? And then fill it full of pretty much all the rooms that we think we need, and 123 prisons as of now, including, well, ranging from low risk up to maximum. So, yeah, low risk and high risk, and some protective custody as well. So obviously there's a lot of fighting here. This is a full-blown riot. A lot of this has been squished a little bit there as well. Obviously a lot of prisoners rioting in these areas. Now we don't have any armed guards apart from the one that would be in here. Now they're not rioting though for whatever reason. There's our first death, which is being caused in, strangely, the low risk. The medium risk area. I would have thought if there's been any of those, it would be in the high risk, but it looks like the dog handler and these other guards are managing to quell that a little bit. Obviously, the dormitories are one of the most problematic areas because they have a high concentration of prisoners, all able to work together and things like that, but because all of these prisoners in the dormitories are low risk, they don't really have any violent traits nor tendencies, so it means that if they're rioting for artificial means like we've just caused there, they'll just do what they can to escape. Although actually it looks like that is not particularly the case because there's an armed guard wandering around now, and they're getting healed by the doctor. I mean, we could just put on free fire and let them crack on, and you'll soon see very, very quickly them put their hands up. It looks like the armed guard is going inside there, and oh yeah, he's really not bothered. Yeah, people have put their hands up. There'll be a couple of warning shots fired there, and yes, most people, as you might imagine, are giving up, which is all good. So there we go, and oh, that guy definitely gave up on something. So where is the main rioting now? It's actually around here. 16 prisoners. The rest has actually been put out of commission. That's interesting. That's interesting. Of all the places I would have thought we'd have a bit of bother, I thought it would have been around here. Oh, actually, don't worry. Our legend is still fighting, though. Adam Lee, he's fighting our guard, who she's holding her own, certainly, although she's also got a daughter to contend with, which is generally an issue. Although a bit of backups arrived in the case of an armed guard, and oh, come on. We expected better from Adam Lee. I mean, you know, it does say there quite clearly, fearless, not intimidated by the sight of an armed guard. Although, that doesn't mean that he won't give up. It says, less likely to surrender during a fight. Well, he did surrender. It's only less likely. What the first part of the sentence means, in my mind, is that there's no suppression effect. So you see this says prisoners are suppressed compliant. He doesn't suffer from that suppression effect. But, you know, when someone walks in with a shotgun, he generally comes to his senses. Either way, that was a fairly interesting one, wasn't it? That happened. Wow, okay. So, that was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I originally thought what would happen is they would bust out and start running for entrances and exits, but it didn't happen. Okay. So that's an interesting one. I wonder what would happen if all of them suddenly became armed. Oh dear, I wonder how that happened. This is not extreme testing, this is just lunacy. There's no way that this can happen outside of a stage test like we are having now. And as you can see, if this ever was to... get to this point, then quite frankly, there's not much we can do. Although they are heading oop north, and that's actually in our favour because people from oop north don't take kindly to armed prisoners coming towards them. Not that most people do, but what's going to happen now is we're going to get a couple of riot police and paramedics on the scene, and if they try to get past these, then there'll probably be some consequences. And as you can see, we've now got a hell of a lot of riot police and paramedics, and that's obviously going to hinder them somewhat. We're going to force them to go down there and get wading in. The riot police do have very heavy armor, and indeed the riot shields, but they're not really made for taking out people with with M16s and M4s and things like that. That's just not really what they're about. But it looks like things have been stopped there. What's this anyway? Why is there a stack of license plates? Was someone trying to steal it? Were you using it as a weapon, or was that someone? Was that just a guard being diligent and you know, I work my 9 to 5 regardless of what happens. Don't let no right stop me. Yeah. So that happened. Yeah, there's still a couple of outliers, but that's actually stopped. So, yes, there's been a lot of violence, and still a couple of people fighting there. That's 14 deaths. I mean, I know it sounds really horrible, and it sort of is, but that's only been 14 deaths. When out of 120 odd prisoners, there's been only 14 deaths between the prisoners and the all staff involved. When you consider every single prisoner was armed, that's probably the best we've ever achieved in terms of percentage. That's good. So we'll just get rid of all those, and we'll send them home. Other things we can do if we really wanted to, we can say instant fight, so you can just say fight, and then people will be fighting, not just writing, but actually fighting each other. There you go, look. And then you can also say, you know what, instant calm, and then it calms it off as well. You've also got start writing, start escaping, and I wonder what would happen if we just sort of spawned loads of fire everywhere. I mean, we've had a lot of fire in the facility, but I've never made it so we've had fire everywhere. I've never seen the prison really go right down to the ground, just to bare bones. Yes, you can put a fire right in the centre of the lake. Okay, fine. And there we go. Fire in the shower. You know, how does a fire in the shower? How does that function? Obviously not as intended. Right, so we'll speed that up and just see what happens. Looks like there's some combustibles in the canteen. And indeed the workshop's going up too. We do have fire suppression systems in the kitchen, although I don't think it's going to work overly well. And oh dear. Yes, we have a forest fire. And yeah, that's burning. Strangely, the fires around here haven't caught. There's been nothing caught around here, and people, to their credit, are happily going back to work. Let's cause lots of fires in the laundry and the cleaning cupboard and all the way around here. I don't know why there's a lot not catching. Obviously the shower, not much to burn. But I'm just trying to... I mean, this isn't even extreme testing now. This is just silly. But, you know, sometimes you just have to let your inner pyromaniac flow in game form. And what's happening there? Oh, that's one I've not seen before. I think that was one that says they are essentially trapped behind fire. Have we ever seen that amount of fire? Instant calm. There we go. We'll stop the riot. We don't need the riot, you know, interfering with this. Yeah, that's people saying they're trapped. That's burning. That's ooh. There's also some scorch marks in the water, because that's how scorch marks work. It's like it's ripping through all sorts here. In fact, as you can see, more deaths. Oh, escapes! We finally had some escapes. Only 2 escapes. Looks like... Oh! Did they jump over the wall? They might have just jumped over the wall there. Yes, it was. They've went over the wall. It's the first time we've seen that. That was one of the things that was added in this update. But we've never... I've personally never seen it while playing. It's always been somewhere else. So we've had 60 deaths now, and out of all of those, only 14, plus or minus a couple, were caused by the violence. It was all to do with fire, this one. CEO is not too not too happy about it. Apparently, if we get a couple more deaths, I'll be done for criminal negligence. Yeah, I think more breach of the fire safety code is more likely. And oh, don't say it's gonna. So I'm now gonna spend the rest of my days in the facility. Maybe. Maybe some preventative maintenance on this place would have been in order before escorting me here. It's still a little toasty, isn't it? Yes. Anyway, I think we can safely say that's the prison put to extreme testing and, well, obviously we've broke it. We've completely broke it. But don't worry, we can happily load it up and continue on building, which we'll be doing from the next episode onwards. Next episode, we will focus on expanding to the far left of the prison, so we'll expand the land. We will be planning off what we intend to do, but a lot of that will be subject to change based really on what we get spawned in terms of the water and the lakes, because we do have a lake over there, so that might expand right round. We might get another big lake in the middle of nowhere, or in the middle of it, so we don't know. We'll have to just see how that one goes. We'll build a wall around it, we'll plan off, maybe not next episode, but we'll certainly have the idea of having a supermax area, a death row area, and then a couple of other things to support all of that. So death row peel, a walled off section, we're going to put guard towers in and have it more, wouldn't say extreme than what we've got now, but certainly more secure, one would hope. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed somewhat this episode. Not that that says much about I don't know what that says about us. If you have, it's been eventful, to say the least, for the lack of a better term. Either way, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.